Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to Premier League predictions for this upcoming weekend's games. As per usual guys, do make sure to drop a like. We'll go for 598 likes on this one. It's a big one, Soph. Can we do it?
Of course we can.
And do make sure to subscribe, of course, guys. We're trying to hit 30,000 subscribers by the end of May. So do subscribe. 70% of you haven't. Come on, hit the subscribe button. What are they doing?
Letting us down, that's what they're doing.
Come on, get involved. Premier League predictions, guys. Let's get into this. Aston Villa versus Newcastle. This is an interesting one, so two really good teams on their day, and they're both in pretty good form.
They are.
Unai Emery versus Eddie Howe, two really good managers, and I'm struggling with this one. Aston Villa are playing really well, and they've got every chance of making European football this season, and it's come out of nowhere because 6-7 weeks ago Aston Villa were lodged in about 11th place, but they've shot up the table. They've done really well. Newcastle, though, I don't want to go against them. I backed them to lose at Brentford, and they won, and they keep beating everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'll say an entertaining Villa 2, Newcastle 3.
Yeah, I feel like every time I've gone against Newcastle, they've won, so I think the Magpies are going to be actually happy that I'm going to back a Villa win. I think Villa both teams are in good form, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Villa, especially being the home team, I've just got to edge them. So 2-1. Yeah,
that is a really good game to start off with. That's a great game. Two traditional clubs, by the way. Share your predictions on that one. Let's go down to West London, where Chelsea take on Brighton, the Graham Potter derby. And obviously Chelsea now have Frank Lampard as...
I was going to say Graham Potter derby without Graham Potter.
Yeah, well it is, because Graham Potter left Brighton for Chelsea and then Chelsea got rid of him. So... yeah, Frank Lampard versus De Zerbi, and it's quite obvious, in my opinion, which way this should go. I feel like Brighton were absolutely robbed at Tottenham. They really, I think they've come out and apologised to the officials after a decision didn't go Brighton's way, which is just horrendous. But Chelsea is a pretty winnable fixture at this moment in time. They lost 1-0 at Wolves. I think Frank Lampard's just there till the end of the season. I just think their season's over. Chelsea 1, Brighton 3.
Yeah, I was speaking to a Chelsea fan earlier. I said, why on earth have you got Frank Lampard in? And he thinks, they've just done it for the fans. But that's how little they think of this season at the moment, that they're just trying to keep the fans happy. I don't think that's the right way of going about it. So for me, I'm going to back Brighton. I think they need to kind of put that Tottenham result behind them. They're going to be really frustrated by that, and so are the fans, and I completely understand why. But I think put that behind you, get the 3 points at Stamford Bridge and move forward, and I think they're going to do it. So 2-0 to Brighton for me.
2-0, okay, interesting. We'll move on to Goodison Park as Everton take on Fulham. Everton have got through a couple of tricky fixtures. They've played Spurs at home, they've played Manchester United away, they've got them out of the way, and now they take on Fulham, who just lost to West Ham. So Everton will really want to pick up points against Fulham now that Everton are back at home. And Fulham, they're safe, they've done enough this season, but their season is really dissolving into nothing, and they've not really got a lot going for them at this moment in time. Everton, I think they've been solid with Sean Dyche. They've got through some tough games here and there, but this is a winnable one, and if they don't win this, a few alarm bells might be going off. I think they will win this. I'm going to go Everton 2-0.
See, I think it's been a really low scoring game for some reason, but I'm gonna back Everton as well. So I'm going to say 1-0. Just because Fulham have faltered a little bit recently, and I can understand why, like with a couple of players out, and maybe earlier on in the season they were a little bit overachieving and they're going to drop down a little bit. It might be harsh saying that. Let me know your thoughts. But for me, Everton win this 1-0.
Okay, 1-0 to the Toffees. We'll move on to the South Coast as Southampton take on Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have left Sophie with egg on her face after you backed them to go down, and then they've won 2 games on the trot and 5-1.
Me then.
5-1 at Leeds.
You're welcome.
Roy Hodgson is not a dinosaur. He is a genius.
I love dinosaurs. And
honestly, against Southampton, who haven't been doing it recently. They had a couple of results a few weeks ago, but not really doing great now. Palace are going to continue this good form. I'm going to go 3-1.
Yeah, I'm backtracking so much on Michael Jackson in right now because I cannot believe that I thought Palace would go down when they've got King Roy in. Are you joking? So I'm going to back them to win as well. 5-1 is an absolutely ridiculous statement of intent. And coming up against Southampton, I think that's going to be a slightly easier game, but I don't see it being as many goals, to be honest. But for me, Palace win 2-0.
2-0. Okay, next up we'll move on to the capital as Tottenham Hotspur take on AFC Bournemouth. Tottenham got that win against Brighton despite it being dubious. They got the win and it's crucial in their push for the top 4 this season. As I say, AFC Bournemouth, I went to the King Power, I saw them beat Leicester City and they were so solid and they've given themselves a really good chance. There's 2 wins in their last 3 and Bournemouth are proving a lot of people wrong. We actually both backed them to go down. I haven't backed Bournemouth enough this season, so I will go for a surprise Bournemouth win here just to even things out a bit. Bournemouth have been solid and I really do hope they stay up. Tottenham 1, Bournemouth 2.
Oh, I was going to go for a surprise draw. I think it might end 1-1.
Stolen your thunder.
Yeah, you've gone all out. But I think at times in the Tottenham-Brighton game, I think Spurs looked a little bit shaky, to be honest, and it was a dubious win, and you do think, okay, well, they got the 3 points, but I don't think that was completely deserved. And I feel like if Bournemouth put in the same performance they did against Leicester, then they're walking away with at least a point for me. So 1-1.
1-1. Okay, next up we'll move to Molineux as Wolves take on Brentford. This is an interesting matchup, this, because Wolves, I think, are going to stay up this season. They've been picking up some good results, and that win against Chelsea, the goal from Nunes was brilliant. What a strike that was. They take on Brentford, who we know are a solid team. I just think Wolves are getting enough points to just keep themselves from this bottom 3. So I'm going to say Wolves will get a point against a good Brentford team. 1-1.
Yeah, I feel like for Wolves, I did back a 1-0 win. I did think that they'd get that over the line. And I feel like coming up against Brentford is actually tougher opposition. So I don't see them getting the 3 points, but I see Brentford making it a really challenging game and then both walking away with a point apiece. So 1-1.
Oh, you're going 1-1? Okay, yeah, same as me. Right, next up we'll move on to the Etihad, where Manchester City are really looking like they could shut Arsenal's gap down. They take on Leicester City. As I say, I went to the King Power. Leicester looked so fragile in their defeat to Bournemouth. It's a shame because they've got 1 or 2 good individuals, but they have now got Dean Smith, Shakespeare and Terry coming in to try and save this team from relegation. I feel like they might be able to give it a go, but this is not the game to start it off with. I'm going to go Man City 3-0.
I know, that is the game you dread as your first game as a manager, isn't it? Go, okay, next game, Man City. So I don't see them getting anything from this, to be honest. I think it could be quite a heavy defeat. Yeah, it's not looking good for Leicester at the moment. That's all I'm going to say on that. So 4-0 Man City.
Ooh, yeah, 4-0. Wow, heavy. Okay, next up, the other team in the title race, it's Arsenal, who are away at West Ham. West Ham, what a win at Fulham, and they've picked up 2 wins in their last 3. Looks like West Ham might just be all right to stay up as well this season.
Well, you said they were going down, didn't you?
I did. I've been left.
You got egg on your face as well.
Do you know what though? West Ham aren't completely safe yet, and they've got some tricky games coming.
I think they'll be all right.
I feel like they'll actually give Arsenal a good game here, you know. But Arsenal have got to win this one to keep their title chance in their hands, really. I'm going to go West Ham 2, Arsenal 3.
Yeah, I see Arsenal conceding this, but I think Arsenal are going to go 1-0 up. I see it going 1-1 and then thinking, ooh, are they going to be dropping points? And then just Arsenal, they're not bottle jobs this season at all. I know the season's not over yet, but they have been putting in performance after performance and they're looking really, really good. So for me, they win this 3-1.
3-1. Wow. Okay, yeah. Next up, it's at the City Ground. It's Nottingham Forest taking on Manchester United. We actually went to the City Ground to watch Nottingham Forest play Manchester United a couple months ago in the Carabao Cup. Manchester United have had Forest's number on every occasion this season, beating them in the league and in the Carabao Cup twice. Forest I've not backed too many times recently, and you can understand why, because their form is not good. It looks as if they went for a 0-0 draw at Aston Villa, and that didn't work. No. They were drawing and doing okay, and then John Joe Shelvey made a horrendous mistake as they threw the points away in that one. I like Steve Cooper, and I think most Forest fans are still with him, but if the results are going to keep being bad, there will be pressure there, and they've got to try and get something somewhere where they don't expect it, and I'm going to go for it here. I'm going to go for Forest to get a surprise draw against Manchester United, 1-1.
Oh, God, you're going back to your Forest ways. No, I don't see them getting anything from this. They've shown time after time that they just don't have the minerals to kind of get the 3 points over the line. They go ahead and then they bottle it, and then you think, okay, they're going to get a point here, and then they bottle it. And I don't see them getting anything from this. Man United win 2-0.
Man United 2-0. Okay, the final game is on Monday night. It's an absolute blockbuster. It's Leeds United versus Liverpool. I mean, this was a great traditional game back in the early years of the Premier League, and it could be really entertaining because these two sides are known for scoring and conceding, and Liverpool were involved in an absolutely bonkers game with Arsenal. Leeds...
Good game, actually.
Yeah, honestly, really good game. I mean, Liverpool showed just how good and bad they can be in that game, but Leeds showed how bad they can be against Crystal Palace, losing 5-1. I think Leeds are still going to stay up this season, but they need a response to that terrible result. And do you know what? Every time Liverpool have put in a really good performance,
they back it with a bad one.
They back it up with a bad one. So I'll go for a surprise Leeds 1-0.
No, I'm going to back Leeds as well. I feel like after that heavy defeat against Palace, they've got to bounce back from that. And as you said, Liverpool, they put in a good performance where you kind of think they wouldn't. And then they back it up with a bad one where you think, oh, God. Story of their season, and I think that trend is going to continue. So Leeds win this for me, 2-1.
You're going Leeds 2-1. Wow. Okay, that wraps up our Premier League predictions, guys. Do share your Premier League predictions down below. As I say, it's just a bit of fun, but share your predictions down below. If you've enjoyed, do make sure to drop a like and do make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.